it's Dr. Parikh, and we're in Module 6. Holy moly, does that look like a lot of readings? But I want you to know most of them are pretty short, and a lot of them are just resources that I want you to look at. Not a lot of them, but some of them are genogram things that I want you to look at. Sometimes I specifically mention a video. This one, I want you to not just look at the first thing that comes up. So for example, this, and this is typical. If this were printed in a book like this, it would be maybe 2 or 3 pages. So it doesn't add up to a ton for 2 weeks worth of work. This one, make sure that you click through. It's still not terribly long, but I want to make sure that you get the information here. What I may do if I have time between now and then, aka if my kid goes to daycare sometime, fingers crossed, I may try to put together one big PDF for someone who doesn't want to click through, who just wants to kind of keep scrolling and go through. But if you like the idea of several short readings, then by all means, go ahead and click through each one. And one in particular here, I've linked to, these are kind of my resources for some of the lecture I've put together. And so this, I do recommend looking at the abstract just to understand the basics of the study, but I don't expect you to read I haven't read the entire article, and I'm not going to. Everything else I've read, but I'm not going to read the entire article there. Videos, these 2 videos are much longer than the typical lectures I do. They're also really cool. They talk a lot about systems. They show a lot of interventions with families, or kind of how families can function better. There's transcripts. You may have to, like if I don't know if I'm going to be considered logged in right now. Probably not. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so I have to log in, and I think that, oh, that's not the right one. I just changed my password, so. It's thinking about it, but it's through our library. It's a really cool subscription. They have lots and lots of counseling videos. If counseling is something you're interested in, you can even go in and just search different words and see what comes up. I'll check back in on that in a moment. Here I have lectures planned, but they're not done yet, so I might end up doing slightly different things instead of what's planned there. But the discussions will likely stay the same, and this is when your last movie analysis paper is due. So the timeline is getting a little tighter than it was the first time, but you also have a lot more skills for it now. My internet's being a little weird lately. We're getting close to the end of the semester. Make sure in particular that you tell me the special topics you're interested in covering. A lot of the things we're covering this week comes out of questions that my last group of students had. I may also add either to this week or to another part of the course. I realized in the middle of doing my last module overview, which I finished about 3 minutes ago, I realized that I didn't talk about violence in families or abusive relationships, and that's partly because I had a guest speaker to handle that the first time through. So I may see if there's a way to have that guest speaker come again, and if not, I will put together things. I know I have a lot that I used for my Psych of Women course. Obviously that's focused more on the experience of women. But yeah, so there may be some things added, but this is, a lot of this week is focused on family, relationships, and kind of thinking about the bigger picture. It's a lot of things that I've hinted at along the way, because I do talk about systems a good bit when I'm talking about the book, but it's a more direct focus. It's a little bit more clinical, and feels a little more psych rooted than some other things. I do not know what's going on with this and what its deal is, but I'm giving up on it. Hopefully it's never not worked for me before. Again, my internet's being just a touch weird right now. I think that's it for this module. Take care. Bye-bye.